Attention everyone, the cost of living is going higher by the day. One source of income can no longer pay the bills. It is important we have more sources of income, most especially the one that will be paying us in dollars from the comfort of our homes. Are you in Enugu or anywhere close to Enugu? Do you want to learn how people make money in dollars online? Then this opportunity is for you here in the heart of Enugu. Visit Eclipse Star Market Limited at 126 Abani Road by Amokwe Bus Stop, opposite Genesis Fast Food, where we turn complete beginners into confident, profitable traders. At Eclipse Star Market Limited, we have professionals that will hold you by hand and teach you how to consistently profit from the forex and cryptocurrency markets. What you stand to benefit are profitable forex trading strategies, how to profit using fundamentals analysis and breaking news, opportunities to earn a living from the cryptocurrency markets, how to copy trade from professionals and make good profits, the secrets of proper risk management, daily trade signals, and live trading sessions and one-on-one mentorship. There is also free internet access and handouts for everyone. This opportunity is open for everyone, both civil servants, business owners, students, motorists, politicians, as long as you have a smartphone or a laptop. Our office address is 126 Abani Road by Amokwe Bus Stop, opposite Genesis Fast Food, Enugu State. You can call on WhatsApp us 0813-291-5085. Again, 0813-291-5085. Remember, limited seats are available. Be there.
And the time is 7:34. Good evening. Welcome to Urban Sport on 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. Here are the headlines for some of the major stories. Arsenal opened contract talks with Declan Rice. United States and Iran called for each other's World Cup absence. Formula One set to call off Bahrain and Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. More of this in the news. I am Banky All. North London side Arsenal have approached Declan Rice over a new long-term contract. Rice's existing deal still has 2 years left to run, while there is also an option to extend that time by further 12 months, but the Premier League leaders are looking for the England international to commit his prime years to the club. Renewal talks are underway and the offer will include a pay increase to solidify its position as one of Arsenal's best earners. Bukayo Saka recently signed a new 4.5-year contract worth a minimum of £300,000 per week. Rice's contract deal is worth a reported £240,000 per week. Discussions are described as being at an early stage and no timeline has been set for the completion, but the process of ensuring Rice stays in North London for the foreseeable future is underway. Since joining Arsenal from West Ham in a deal worth £105 million in 2023, the 27-year-old has established a reputation as one of the best midfielders in Europe. Bournemouth head coach Andoni Raola says he wants his contract situation to be resolved sooner rather than later, but the decision is definitely closer to being made. The 43-year-old Spaniard's deal expires at the end of the current campaign. Raola led the Cherries to club record Premier League points total in his 2 seasons in charge since replacing Gary O'Neill in June 2023. He said definitely closer to a decision. It is something we will decide sooner rather than later, but there is no news, Raola said at a press conference on Friday. Raola signed a 12-month contract extension to stay at the club until at least the end of 2025-26 campaign, following a successful first season in charge, having signed an initial 2-year deal. But he has been linked to jobs at Crystal Palace, Tottenham, and Manchester United this summer. Former Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey is said to deny two new allegations of rape, a court has heard. The 33-year-old was charged last month with two counts of raping a woman on date in December 2020. It followed him being charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault against separate complainant last year. Partey was excused from attending the preliminary hearing for the new charges at Westminster's Magistrate Court on Friday. However, his barrister, Emma Fan, indicated he intended to plead not guilty to both counts at Crown Court set for 10th of April. The Ghanaian midfielder who plays for Spanish club Villarreal was charged last year with 5 counts of rape against 2 women and sexual assault against a third alleged victim following a Metropolitan Police investigation. He has already entered not guilty pleas to all of those allegations, which date back to 2021 and 2022, and is due to face trial at Southwark Crown Court in November. Arabella McDonough, prosecuting told the court the complainant came forward after news of parties or the matters were widely publicized. Partey was released on bail on Friday with a condition that it does not contact the alleged victim. President of the United States Donald Trump claims that it would not be appropriate for Iran to take part in the 2026 World Cup for their own life and safety, has been followed by the Iranians saying it should be caused the United States who sacrificed their place instead. Trump said in a post on social media that Iran would be welcome to the World Cup before signaling he felt they should not be involved. Trump's comment came after Iran's Minister of Sport and Youth, Ahmad Donjamali, said its country were not in a position to participate in the tournament, which is being held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico from the 11th of June. Iran are due to face New Zealand and Belgium in Los Angeles on the 15th and 21st of June, respectively, and Egypt in Seattle on the 26th of June, but their participation has been in doubt since the United States and Israel launched strikes on the country, killing Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran responded by launching missiles and drones towards Israel for Gulf Arab countries, which host United States military bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Still talking football, the Iran women's football team became heroes when they declined to sing the country's national anthem at the Asian Cup, says former Iran men's head coach Asfin Gotti. Iran's players were silent for the anthem in the opening match against South Korea on the 2nd of March. It came amid a wider context of escalating conflict following strikes by the United States and Israel on their homeland since the 28th of February. Iran has launched missiles and drones towards Israel and four Gulf Arab countries which host United States military bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates. During weeks of anti-government protest in Iran in December and January, at least 7,000 protesters were killed in an unprecedented crackdown by security forces, according to human rights groups. Some Iranians hoped the recent military attacks on the country's leadership would lead to a swift regime change, but doubt has since been raised about the prospect. The Iran players sang and saluted during the anthem in their following matches against tournament host Australia and the Philippines. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has leapt to the defense of out-of-sort Bukayo Saka. Saka was singled out by fans and pundits for criticism following the Gunners' 1-1 draw with Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League on Wednesday night. The England winger was taken off by Arteta in the 60th minute and replaced by Noni Madueke. Madueke eventually won the penalty that Kai Havertz converted to help Arsenal avoid defeat in Germany. While speaking to the media on Friday, Arteta insisted they fully trust Bukayo Saka. He said, and I quote, "We fully trust him and love him. What he's doing for us, for this club, is just incredible at his age, and he's continued to have that massive impact for us. He can have an individual performance that is not probably a reflection of his level, like every human, every player in the world. But overall, when you look at his strength and the impulse he has in the team, it's just incredible." Arsenal legend Thierry Henry has come to the defense of Kylian Mbappe, arguing that the Real Madrid forward faces an unfair level of scrutiny. Henry believes that Mbappe's remarkable accomplishments are often overlooked because of the immense expectations that have followed him since his teenage years. Sometimes Mbappe gets judged on what he's not doing or what he has done yet, according to Henry. He said, and people kind of brush over what he has done, which I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm not saying he's get a pass, but can we be fair sometimes? There's been so much expectation on this guy since he was 16, and he has also always delivered. Look at his stats. If you look at the trophies, if you look at the numbers, they aren't bad. Mbappe has amassed an incredible 372 goals in 475 club appearances across pairs as AS Monaco, Paris Saint-Germain, and now at Real Madrid. On the international stage, he has netted 55 goals and 94 appearances for the French senior team. Formula One's Grand Prix in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia in April are said to be called off this weekend due to the conflict in the Middle East, reducing the 2026 season to 22 races. The sport had been due to be in Bahrain for the new season's fourth round on the 10th to the 12th of April before racing in Saudi Arabia's city of Jeddah a week later on the 17th and 19th of April, but both countries are among the Gulf states to have been struck by Iran in retaliation to the United States Israeli airstrikes amid the conflict in the region. The safety and the paramount concern of Formula One and the FIA and the situation in the Middle East has not improved in recent days. It is understood that Middle East races in April will be cancelled by the end of this Sunday and will likely not be replaced on Formula One's busy March to December schedule, meaning the season will drawn to 22 Grand Prix this weekend. And finally tonight, George Rossos continued his imperial start to the 2026 Formula One season by comfortably beating his Mercedes teammate Kimi Antonelli to pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix sprint. After winning last weekend's season opener in Australia, Rosso topped all three segments of the shorter format qualifying at the Shanghai International Circuit with his time of 1 hour 31 minutes 520 seconds, putting him almost 3 tenths clear of Antonelli. McLaren's Lando Norris was the best of the rest, but the reigning world champion was 6 tenths of Rosso's time as he edged out Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton forward. Antonelli faced a post-session investigation for impeding Norris during the second qualifying round but escaped a penalty as the McLaren driver admitted he had not been on a first-time lap. The third row will also be McLaren Ferrari as Oscar Piastri took fifth ahead of Charles Leclerc, who appeared to be on course for third place before appearing to suffering with energy deployment in the second and third qualifying. That's all we have in the news tonight. Talking point next. Alright, welcome back to Urban Sport on 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. I am Banky O, and tonight Deportivo Alaves will take on Villarreal. That game is perfectly poised for 9 p.m. tonight. Before that game, we have the game between Borussia Mönchengladbach against St. Pauli in the German Bundesliga by 8:30. Torino will take on Parma by 8:45, and for the Ligue 1, Marseille will play at home against Auxerre. So those are the games that are set for tonight. Alright, we have some eye-catching games for tomorrow and some games that can influence the games in the Champions League on Tuesday and on Wednesday. And one of such games is the game between Newcastle United visiting Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That game is by 6:30 tomorrow. But before 6:30, we have the game between Burnley and AFC Bournemouth. By 4 p.m., Sunderland will take on Brighton. By 4 p.m., Arsenal will be hoping to continue their good run of form in the Premier League, which they recently assumed with 3 victories in the last 3 matches to maintain their point gap against Manchester City. Arteta will be playing against his former coach, David Moyes of Everton, at 6:30 tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium. And trust me, Everton has one of the best away form in the Premier League this season, way better than their home form. Then we have the game between Chelsea and Newcastle United, and West Ham United will be hosting Manchester City at the London Stadium by 9 p.m. We have the game between Girona and Athletic Club. That game is set for 2 p.m. Then we have some other games like Atletico Madrid against Getafe. Real Madrid, after punishing Pummeling Manchester City in the Champions League, they will take an LJ by 9 p.m. Trust me, don't judge, don't rate with the performance against Manchester City and think that you can stake your wife and your house and your family on Real Madrid beating Elche. It could be a different result tomorrow night. Alright, we have a series of games in the German Bundesliga. Bayer Leverkusen will take on Bayern Munich, coming off an impressive performance against Arsenal in the Champions League, despite not getting a victory because the game ended 1-1. I hope that can inspire them against Bayern Munich. The game is set by 3:30 tomorrow. We have Borussia Dortmund against Augsburg. SC Eindhoven will take on Eintracht Frankfurt, also by 3:30 p.m. against Wolfsburg. Is by 3:30. 0916005945, 0916004945. Arsenal are discussing contract extension, improved contract with Declan Rice. We know that if Arsenal ends up winning the Premier League this season, 2 players that will fight for the player of this season is Declan Rice and Gabriel Magalhaes. Both of them will fight for the Premier League player of the season, Arsenal player of the season also, and Declan Rice is tipped. And Arsenal having a conversation of a wage of £240,000 per week for Declan Rice. Yes, that's the conversation. Because the guy is currently earning in excess of £300,000 per week. And the new story from Stamford Bridge is that Reece James has signed a 6-year contract at Chelsea, a contract of a lifetime that would take away his prime time at Chelsea. So that's one of the stories. Reece James is a top quality player, is a player that can fit into any team, is a player of high standard that can play at Real Madrid, can play at Barcelona, that can play at Liverpool, Manchester City, but he has decided to commit his future to staying back at Chelsea. That's some of the trending news tonight. 0916005945, 0916004945. Those are the numbers to call to interact with us, to be part of the conversation. And for Mikel Arteta defending Bukayo Saka, personally, Bukayo Saka has not been the same player this season. He has lost his creative edge, he has lost his attacking edge, he has also scaled down of his ability to score goals, which is affecting the Arsenal team. The game against Bayer Leverkusen shouldn't be a difficult game for Bukayo Saka, but yes, 3 loss of possessions in quick succession in that particular game, and when he's supposed to pass the ball, Bukayo Saka has been making wrong decisions on the ball these days. Yes, I understand. Arsenal fans love Bukayo Saka. Is a gentleman, as serious, as professional, but if you holistically look at his performance, if you take a knife to peel out his performance, to cut out his performance week in, week out this season, you will know that by Bukayo Saka's very high standards, he has dropped form. He's not been scoring goals. Bukayo Saka don't have 10 Premier League goals this season. So you have to understand the criticism because it's a player made of pressure, is a diamond, a high standard performing player, a player that can perform under pressure, intense pressure, but he's not been delivering for Arsenal. 0916005945. Chelsea fans, you guys will be up against Newcastle United tomorrow. Is there going to be a win, or are you guys going to watch with 15 minutes to the end of the match, like you did against PSG? Time will tell. Yes, Chelsea fans, opportunity to talk to us. And for Manchester United fans, once again, you guys will see what a football look like because you guys didn't play in the Africa Cup, you guys didn't play in the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. You guys must be missing playing football, and for the fans must be missing watching Manchester United in the red or black color. You guys have been away from football for a very long time. You're welcome. You're going to take an Aston Villa on Sunday. 0916005945 0916004945. Those are the numbers to call to be part of the conversation tonight. And if you want to text us, 09128 This is Urban Sports on 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. Alright, the return leg of the round of 16 of the Champions League will be next week. Yes, on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I saw a video of a fan call a masterclass performance of a Victor Osimhen masterclass against Liverpool at Anfield. Don't forget that Victor Osimhen, the Galatasaray fans will not be opportuned to be at Anfield. They were banned. The fans were banned from coming to Anfield. So it's going to be Anfield, the 11 players on the pitch versus Victor Osimhen and the boys. So they have to find a way to deliver in that game. I saw a very cute video online of a young fan calling that Victor Osimhen should give everything for them to qualify for the quarterfinals. Good evening to you. How far now, my G? How you doing now? Go on. Pacemaker, how you doing now? How you doing today? And I go don't miss football like this, so I'm a legend. You play Champions League next year. Oh yeah, now let's see how it will be now. Okay. I'm gonna be by mouth. What club is that? Newcastle will win or Chelsea will win. Which one? Newcastle will beat Chelsea. There's no Allah now. No Allah. Anything we talk. Lady Man U is fine and she's balling in Lagos. Once she done ready, she go come back. My guy, thank you very much, bro. Thank you. All right. 0916005945 0916004945. Those are the numbers to call to be part of the conversation tonight. For Manchester United fans, you guys are playing against Aston Villa. Aston Villa and Manchester United Manchester United look like two teams vying for the trophy. Do you know the trophy they are vying for? They are trying to qualify for the Champions League. That is how low Manchester United are falling to be contesting for a Champions League sport against Aston Villa. Good evening to you. Hello? Yes, your name